Hello, welcome to I Teach, I Learn, where we discuss Montessori and a lot of activities that you can do with your child at home, which involve hands-on learning and a whole lot of fun. So this video means so much to me because it brings together 5 very talented, passionate and caring individuals who are also amazing teachers in their respective fields. I am so lucky to have known these people and learnt with them and from them at different points in my life. We have Vinodha ma'am, a martial arts teacher, Medhini, a talented musician and music teacher. We also have Ishwarya Balabharati, a very fun Bollywood and Bharatanatyam dance instructor, Prasanna Venkateshan, an amazing football coach, and AK Adith, who's a storyteller, a theatre artist, and also has experience as a teacher. So we'll be talking about music, dance, theatre, gross motor activities like sports and martial arts in today's video. Why? Because these factors help provide a holistic education, and most of these are actually highlighted by Dr. Montessori in her lectures and books as well. Not only will we be talking to these teachers, but I've also put up 10 new Montessori activities which are around gross motor skills as well as music, dance and theatre. So these are for you to try at home with your child and let me know how that goes. Music, movement and art in general are very uniquely presented in the Montessori environment. However, it is also rather an underdeveloped area that doesn't have the same thoughtfully laid out curriculum that other areas have by many schools. This is because when it comes to maths and language, we go out of our way to ensure that the children don't miss out on their learning. But because many adults themselves don't have the inclination towards certain arts, say music, these fields can be seen only as an add-on and not integral to child development. In the Montessori classroom or the environment, a movement corner and related lessons can be easily incorporated to offer further opportunities for children to purposefully practice gross motor skills. There are beautiful lessons and musical apparatus designed by Dr. Maria Montessori herself to sensorially familiarize the child to the musical notes as well. A huge part of the book, The Advanced Montessori Method, that I'm reading, stresses on offering music, meter, rhythm and movement to the child in the elementary age of 6 to 12. In fact, she says, eagerness for surmounting difficulties and high attainment is much more frequently found in children than we, judging by our own experience as adults, expect. So children are willing to challenge themselves. In some instances, according to her, the children were so enraptured by the music that they would just sit still, crowding around the pianist and being entranced in the music. While in other instances, the rhythm of the music made them so engrossed in the movements that they were making that one girl had to literally wait for the pianist to stop playing so that she could stop herself and go meet a visitor. Dr. Maria Montessori, having lived through the World War II, may not have mentioned a lot about sports or competition. However, here are a few thoughts from Guy Kelly's, an upper elementary teacher and a physical education teacher for 23 years in a Montessori school. And he says, it's amazing to me how many people seem to feel that games are not worthwhile if they are lost. In fact, you find parents so upset when their children lose or the team is not getting the right appreciation. In his work with parents in Montessori environments, Calise emphasizes the importance of play and creativity. In his vision, he thinks that Montessori athletes will have and should have 2 characteristics. One would be a love for play with creativity, and the other would be a sense of discipline, which comes with perseverance and mastery of the sport. Today, however, we find that there is very little scope, for children to go outside and play. And today's lockdown has also made instructional teaching of and learning of music, dance, sports, martial arts and dramatics very difficult to continue. But enough from me. Let us hear from these wonderful teachers as to what you can do at home and how important are these activities for children and why they should be continued. First up, we have Mrs. Vinodha Shivabalan, who is the Vice President of Tatsuakan Ichinryu Karate International and Director of JPS Women's Self-Defense Academy. She is a 5th degree black belt in karate with 25 years of experience in martial arts. She has a master's in childcare education and a diploma in primary education from the Indian Montessori Center. She has several awards to her credit and has trained several women employees and even 1,000 police sub-inspector cadets. Here's my first question to her. So, Vinodha ma'am, in your experience, when can a child begin martial arts training and what effect does it have on their physique?
At the age of 3, children are ready to follow directions. So we enroll children from 3 years onwards. The beginners first observe the class for a week, then they repeat all exercises by watching their friends and master. Exercise keeps them warm and also gives strength to their limbs. So they will develop good strong immune system and physique. Of course, young children have great flexibility and drive, so they do the class workout with great interest.
Thank you, ma'am. That was very informative and interesting. What are the values and emotional effects of martial arts on children? This is something that not many of us can relate to, so we'd like to know your thoughts.
Martial arts is full of movements with stretches, stances, blocks, punches, kicks, jumps, which are like play for them. It is a chance for them to exhaust their piled up energy. At home, the movements may be limited, so they always love our martial arts class to display their energy levels. Because here they can kick and punch the dummy partner and can really try tough workouts. What is difficult to an adult is a casual workout for the child. For example, a new student in adult batch may not do the push-ups and stretches perfectly. But my little ones in sub-juniors will casually do 10 to 20 times push-ups and a perfect 90-degree stretches. I just wanted to record here that physical workout and sports comes naturally for young children.
Wow, truly there is so much more to martial arts than just self-defense. How can children stay connected to martial arts practice at home during lockdown? What should the parents do and not do? Could you throw some light on this aspect?
During this lockdown period, we encourage children to practice martial arts at home because all of a sudden they cannot stop all their fitness activities. Martial arts is a practice for both mind and body. Practicing at home helps them not to get bored and it also helps them to be fit and healthy, which is necessary during this pandemic period. At home, parents can do some basic exercises along with the children because that will be a great motivation for them. Parents can also encourage the children to recall and practice the workout syllabus that we call as kathas, that are imaginary movements. What not to do is absolutely no commenting and also no forcing the child to do more. As a trainer, we know how far the child can stretch his muscles. At home, we request the parents not to encourage the child to do more than he can to avoid getting muscle cramps because the child cannot clearly express the pain, so they will simply say, I will practice only when school reopens or class reopens. I wish all the parents and children to work out at home at their comfortable space and not to try new heavy workouts.
Thank you so much, Vinodha ma'am. I'm sure these ideas will help the children and the parents at home during the lockdown. Next, we have Aishwarya Balabharati, who has had a wide experience of performing and choreography of classical, semi-classical, contemporary and Bollywood style. She has won several awards as well for her choreography in national level dance festivals and even performed in film festivals. She has been trained in Bharatanatyam for almost 2 decades and is currently the founder of Natyatara Dance Company, where she conducts Bharatanatyam classical dance classes, and Bollywood dance classes for children as well as adults. She is also part of the TTT dance team, a multi genre dance platform for artists to collaborate and perform in. So, Aishwarya, my namesake, the first question to you. What would you consider is a prerequisite for a child to enroll into dance classes, and how soon can they be enrolled?
As far as prerequisites, I feel that students should be interested and really passionate about learning this art rather than just being forced by their parents due to peer pressure. I have also observed that students who are interested in learning are extremely sincere and fast learners. I feel dance class can benefit children of any age. However, the right age to enroll your kids in a dance class would be between 3.5 to 4, because by then I feel the kids are more confident enough to be separated from their mothers and take in directions from someone else. And since most of them start attending preschools or daycare, they are also used to being in a group environment, and generally they don't fuss around other kids inside the dance class as well. They are quite capable at 3, but kids who join by 4 or 4.5 are much more confident, and they follow simple instructions like right and left very easily, and that makes them have fun in class.
Fair enough. Understanding basic instruction is definitely a big deal while starting classes. So, in your experience, what do children gain from learning dance in terms of physical fitness, emotional development, and values?
So dancers are always self motivated and super confident. Especially young children, when they learn dance, they study perseverance and patience at a very young age, which helps them not to give up if they fail. For example, practicing a complicated step again and again till they master it will encourage them to transfer this quality to other aspects of life. Dance helps not only in physical fitness but definitely in their mental health. So body movement and hand gestures definitely helps children absorb ideas better and their ability to hold information. It certainly helps children who have very low self esteem, and I have personally seen many students come out of their shy shell and become great performers. Over these past 20 years of learning and performing, I have observed that learning dance teaches us discipline, respect, how to appreciate and acknowledge fellow artists, and also helps us know the value of our culture.
That's great. It's definitely a huge reason to enroll in dance classes as well. But currently, in today's scenario, how can children stay connected to their dance lessons at home during the lockdown? What should parents do and not do with respect to practice?
Not only during lockdown, but my general advice to my students is to practice their basics and the new routines taught in class every day at home. Usually, students come up with reasons of other activities come in the way of practicing at home. But I feel that if a child can make 10 minutes out for dance practice in their schedule, that confidence can soar from knowing the routine better and will definitely help them progress. So, how can parents help achieve this? Parents can meet teachers from time to time and rely on their feedback to help the kids see their talents and weaknesses. This helps the parents to understand where the child stands in class and will drive them to motivate the students to practice better, which will lead to a better performance.
Thank you so much, Aishwarya, for making practice a priority and dance a whole lot of fun. There is freedom and discipline in art, which makes it so endearing to young children. Speaking of art, another art form is music. We have with us Medhini Sridharan, who has been a student of music for as long as she can remember and believes that she identifies best with just that, being a student, something which I relate to as well. She's an engineer from the corporate industry in her previous life. She is now an active performing student and teacher of music. She recently took a course on Montessori teaching methods for the elementary age group from the Indian Montessori Training Center. She particularly enjoys working with younger children as she feels that their joy is more explicit in this musical journey and that they inspire her to think of innovative teaching methods all the time. Are you interested in what she has to say? Me too. So, my first question to Medhini was, what would you consider is a prerequisite for children to be enrolled in music classes, and how soon do you think that they should be enrolled?
I would say 6 years old, 6 plus or minus one. Minus one because there are very young children who take to the art form like a fish to water. So, and the older children who don't quite fit in. So, you'll never know unless you try. So, there isn't any perfect time or age group to enroll your child as long as your child is aware. And it's going to be quite it's going to be a long wait if you're waiting for your child to show interest in a particular art before enrolling them. So what I would say is, don't wait because it's going to be an indefinite wait. Enroll them, but in order to continue the art form, yes, there has to be interest, and that becomes an onus on the teacher and the parent, to inculcate interest and not to frighten or intimidate the child. Consider a level of inclination or a certain level of awareness on the part of the child that lets him be prepared for what he might experience in a particular class. So if I had a young child, I'd like his or her parent, to prepare the child in advance by telling her that she's going to be singing in a class with some other children of her age. It's going to be fun, and all these lessons might help her sing bigger and better songs and complicated songs, and she could do this, that, inculcate a bit of ambition or dreams or whatever into the child. This sort of awareness allows her to settle down, and so she isn't plonked one fine day into a group and instantly asked to sing in front of perfect strangers. This can be a very daunting first day experience. And I've seen this prep work works with children, and it goes a long way.
Thank you, Medhini. That was very beautifully explained. In your experience, what do children gain from music lessons in terms of emotional development and values?
There's a sense of discipline for learning any art form, and this is more so in the case of music. In fact, I think that the discipline and commitment that is required of a student of music is far more rigorous than that is required from academics. Any musician worth her salt will tell you that she learned the hard way that consistency was the game changer in her journey. Consistency is the key, and then only come the later traits of hard work, perseverance, good mentorship. Everything else comes second. This quality of sticking to a commitment, this tenacity, despite all the bad days, despite the injuries, the abaswans, the humiliation, failures, constant failures, and wanting to do better than everybody, this quality will lend itself to life itself. It very seldom doesn't. And this is the quintessence of the Montessori education itself, where something you learn lends itself to something else. And cosmic education, as we'd call it. And that's what music does. As far as values are concerned, there is a whole new level of understanding and respect for unquantifiable accomplishments. Now, why do we need that? In a constrictive stereotypical society like ours, where one is required to be one of a grand total of two things, a doctor or an engineer, we are raising humans who understand that not all accomplishments are quantifiable or tangible, like let's say a centum in mathematics, a degree in medicine, or in nuclear physics. Hitting that perfect note, getting that crystal clear Sangati, nailing that perfect Abhinaya for a song. All these qualify as accomplishments, and all these require years and years of silent practice. And maybe, just maybe, at the end of it, there might be a bonus in the form of an acknowledgement. So when we're raising, when this is the age of entitled adults, we are raising adults to know what they deserve and when they deserve it. And I think that's the most important gift we can give to our children, an opportunity to turn into respectful adults who value every person and their contribution.
Lovely. My final question would be, how can children stay connected to music and music lessons at home during lockdown? What do you think parents can do to help their children in this regard?
Assuming that you're a music student already, and if you're in touch with your student through online lessons, well, bravo, you are in touch during a very tough time, so you can use this, practice whatever you're learning. And considering you aren't in touch, suppose you aren't in touch with your teacher and you miss that face-to-face interaction with your guru, well, I would use this time, this brilliant time, to practice what I've learned so far. You're never going to get this time where you aren't learning something new and you're unpressurized to learn something new. So this is the time to invest on what you've learned so far, even if it's very little or if it's a lot. Practice on everything and try to master everything you've learned so far. This will be like a jumping board for you, where you can just jump off into the next level when you enter, when you're coming face to face with your teacher. It will be like you're learning a new skill all of a sudden. I would use this time to listen to different genres of music. I would use this to listen to a whole lot of music. There are many videos on YouTube where you learn different types of music. Before jumping into them and imitating what the instructor has to say, listen to the whole video. Listen is all I have to say, rather than trying to sing or perform. Like the Montessori philosophy goes, if it isn't in your senses, it's going to be, it's nowhere near your intellect. So I'd use this to just soak in different types of music. I've seen that piano students are brilliant in Carnatic music, especially because they get those notes instinctively. So one form lends itself to the other form. So I'd say violin students listen to piano concertos, vocal Carnatic music students listen to some Western classical and Hindustani music. Remember, one form will lend itself to the other and something else will help you in the art form you're already learning. So don't pressurize yourself and don't have lofty goals, first of all, to learn something new. Work on what you've already learned. And remember, this is a hard time. This is a pandemic and a lockdown. Be easy on yourself and only try to better yourself at this time. You'll do just fine.
Thank you, Medhini, for sharing your answers and thoughts. Well, let's all sit back and listen to music and enjoy other forms of art, as she said, which we would have never probably had the time to discover. But for now, I'm super excited to listen to Adith's answers to my questions. Adith is an actor, dancer, storyteller, and an educator. He has been traveling across the country and sometimes even outside to perform in theatre productions, dance productions, to share stories, design modules in art integration, work with children, youth, and teachers on various aspects of arts and education. Wow, master of all trades, huh? But what really drew me to his work was the fact that in the past few years he had been living in Northeast India in a small village, helping set up and teach at a beautiful school called the Hummingbird School. Here are his thoughts on the questions that I have. My first one to him was, how does theatre help children develop emotionally and psychologically? And how soon can theatre be introduced to a child?
Theatre is a space where a lot of art forms come together in one place. There's music, there's movement, there's acting, there's fine arts, there's craft. It's like an outlet where children can identify and express themselves creatively. And in my experience, I've seen children become more empathetic and non violent in nature. But most importantly, I think it helps them embrace themselves with all their flaws. I have seen children loosen up so much. It drastically improves their emotional and psychological well being. So, if you ask me how soon a child can be introduced to theatre, I would say as soon as they can be. Because even as an observant, there's so much change happening internally, and it's such a strong learning platform, I would say, for every single child.
Wow, that's very interesting, Adit. So, does being in theatre also involve physical fitness or developing other unknown skills? And how do you think does acting build the child's personality?
Theatre involves the child to learn and develop a wide spectrum of skill sets. Physical fitness being one of the most important ones, because oh my god, for you to put up a show, you need crazy amount of energy. And the only way that you're going to get that kind of energy is through continuous physical fitness or practice. Among other skill sets, any quirky skill set that you can pick up is something that is going to be useful in the space of theatre, because you never know what comes in handy here. You would want to use every single skill set that you picked up in this space, because there is an outlet for you to use all your skill sets in one way or the other. And yes, acting definitely does build the child's personality. Let me put it this way: acting involves you being observant of your own body, its strengths, its limitations, and also someone else's or something else's, because you're always trying to impersonate. And when you're trying to impersonate something, you have to be observant of something or someone for you to be able to impersonate it from your body or through your body. So, yes, it's definitely going to help the child carry themselves off better, because they are more mindful of themselves and they are more mindful of their surroundings when they are introduced to this art.
True, there is so much energy that is involved in the world of theatre. But how can children explore theatrics at home during a lockdown? What can parents do in this regard to help them practice and, also give them a space to explore creatively?
So, one of the most simplest and effective ways for your child to hone their presentation and acting skills during this lockdown period is to pick up a simple, small story, and you help them record it with your phone's camera until it's perfect. That's it. You will find all the necessary things along the way. The parent can help the child through the process, help them with what they can do with their body, what they can do with their hands. But the parent has to remember that it's very important to give constructive feedback and not something that will hurt them or make fun of them. And yeah, you could just go on with it, pick up difficult stories and just keep working on it more and more. And alongside, you could also help your child work on their voice projection. You will find a lot of voice exercises on YouTube that could help them improve their voice projection. And yes, the child can keep perfecting their story, and the parent can keep helping them with how they can use their body or how they can use their hands to tell the story better. And yes, that is one of the most effective and simple ways to perfect your presentation and acting skills. I do it now. It works like a charm.
That sounds like a swell idea. Thank you so much, Adit, for your contributions to children and to the world of art. When we talk of movement and energy, sports and games do come to our mind, right? So let's hear what this young football coach has to say. So, Prasanna Venkateshan has been working as a football coach for more than 5 years. He has had the opportunity to train a lot of young children. He definitely has a lot of experience in handling grassroots football as well. Currently, he is working as an assistant football coach and is also the head scout of FC Madras. By the way, check out FC Madras's Instagram page for some amazing activities and challenges for your children to try at home. Prasanna also gets the opportunity to spot young talents in the field and train those children in their respective categories. It's a pleasure to talk to you, Prasanna. Here's my first question. What would you consider is the right age to introduce children to sports? And how does it help their physical fitness at a very young age, according to you?
To be honest, I don't see any specific age for a kid to start a sports activity. So probably I will put it within a bracket of somewhere between 3 to 6 years. And again, this bracket differs from person to person, as some kids mature early and some mature late. And also, I look at sports activities in two ways, like organized and unorganized free play. For a 2 or a 3 year old kid, I would personally suggest uh, doing more of unorganized free play, like kicking football, or doing just basic jumps, or throwing a cricket ball. uh, but again, if your kid is very particular or very passionate about kicking a football, as a parent, all you have to do is just find the right place for him to train to kick a football. And as a coach, I should make sure the kid goes back home happy, and he wants to come back again tomorrow to do what he likes. Because I look at happiness is one of the major, happiness as one of the major factors, for a kid's development. So yeah, to name few, probably, uh, when a kid grows up, he he or she becomes very flexible, muscles are toned, mentally they're very sharp. And it starts from a basic day-to-day activities, like bending down and tying a shoelace, or putting a socks or wearing a shoe. I mean, yeah, so that's how I look at it for a kid.
Very true. Sports is all about movement, which is very integral for the development of the child. In your experience, how has playing football helped children develop emotionally and psychologically? What values can they gain from training at a very young age?
Football not only helps in the physical development of a child, but it also helps in the other developmental aspects. It helps in the social, psychological, and your emotional development of your child. Football being a team sport, it is obvious that you get to understand what is teamwork. You get to be with a group of people. You understand what is victory. You cope up with losses. You learn to cope up with losses. It definitely helps you make better decisions in life. Like the saying goes by, football is a mental game, your legs are just a tool. I strongly believe in that. Imagine you're having a football at your feet. Now you'll have to make a decision whether you pass the ball, or you shoot the ball, or you dribble the ball. It definitely makes you take better decisions in life over time. Also, like I said, football has got a lot of other benefits. Like, it helps you to be a team player, it helps you understand what is self discipline. You learn to understand perseverance. You help to you can set goals and accomplish them. It helps you in better time management. From my experience, I have been a football coach and a football scout for almost 5-6 years now. And I get to uh, organize selection trials, scouting programs in the northeastern parts of India, so where football is being used as a tool to overcome drug addiction. I have seen this personally uh, in northeastern parts of India, where the kids get into drug addiction at a very young age, probably by 10 or 11. you know there the people use football as a tool to get these kids out of drug addiction. Overall, football helps you shape as a better human being in life. it makes you a good person.
Thank you, Prasanna, for highlighting the values that can be inculcated by the children while playing team sports. There's so much to learn while playing on the field. So, how can children keep moving and practice their skills, in any sports at home during a lockdown? What should parents do and not do with respect to this kind of practice?
This is a very difficult time for all of us. I'm pretty sure none of us have seen something like a lockdown before. Also, schools engaging the kids with the online educational programs, and parents with their busy work from home schedule. I'm pretty sure sports is looked as a last alternative. So at this moment, I would like to request the parents to let your kid engage in any sports activity at least 15 to 20 minutes a day. If your kid wants to throw a ball against a wall and catch it, let them do it. If your kid wants to kick a football, let them do it. Or beat any sport. Or if your kid's coach is giving them some activities or challenges, just be supportive enough to stay with them at least 15-20 minutes a day and make sure they complete the task. As a coach, as a football coach, I've had the opportunity to work with around 300 to 400 kids in the last couple of years. So in my personal experience, I have noticed that the kids who start sports activities at a later stage, they tend to miss out on coordination movements, like your hand-eye coordination movement or your upper body, lower body coordination movement. Whereas the kids who start sports activities at a much younger age, they tend to have an upper hand in terms of the coordination movements. As a football coach, my suggestion is that you engage your kids into household activities like washing clothes or washing vessels or mopping the floor. And also, this is the right time for you to put your kid into hand-eye coordination movements or upper body, lower body coordination movements, with regards to developing their fine and gross motor skills.
Thank you so much, Prasanna, for your time. Well, let's listen to the coach and get moving. It's been an absolute pleasure putting this video together. I know this is longer than any of the videos I've posted, but I hope that this will really bring about the importance of the extracurricular activities at school and at home, and how they are crucial and fundamental to the holistic development of the child. In fact, for those privileged to attend classes, should understand the value that these activities bring and could actually work on sharing this joy with others. Parents, rather than stopping children after a certain age to continue with these interests, it would be a better idea to talk to your children about things like time management, goal setting, and decision making. In fact, most of these skills are inculcated in the activities that your children are learning, anyways. And all these activities have a place in Montessori as well. They can be inculcated, they can be brought together with the philosophy as well, which is what many teachers out there are doing. So, you check out the 10 activities that I have suggested to keep you moving and to be creative at home during these difficult times. When I say you, of course, I mean your 6 to 9-year-olds, but you are free to try them out as well. Take care, stay tuned for more on I Teach, I Learn. Follow all my socials, I'll be posting up some articles as well that I have written, and share your love with all the people that I've collaborated with in this video. Do follow them, do reach out to know more about them as well. Bye.